Hi, this is John Linneball from John Linneball Tutoring, and this is Barron's Chapter 6.0, Interpretation of Data. So problems 1 through 3 on page 646. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please get your copy of the Barron's SAT, preferably the Premium Study Guide 30th edition, but probably the 28th or 27th, or I'm sorry, I mean the 29th or 28th editions, maybe even the 27th, would help you here. So anyway, you'll see on page 646 in the 30th, and I think it's exactly the same one in the 29th, the speeds at which Mark drove on Sunday morning. So page 646, the first couple problems, actually the first 3 problems, questions 1 through 3 refer to the above graph. So we see this graph here. All right, we can see the speed in miles per hour and the time of the morning. So it looks like Mark drove from 8 a.m. till 10:30 a.m. And the speeds go from 25 to 50. Looks like the slowest he went was 30, and the fastest he went was 50. So let's get going. Problems 1 through 3 continued. Problem number 1, for what percent of the time was Mark driving 40 miles per hour or faster? Well, Mark drove 40 miles per hour or faster from 8:30 till 9:45, because we can see 40 right here, and that goes to 9:45, so we can see that nice line of 40. And then, which is 1.25 hours? We can see. All right, this is 8:30, and goes to 9:45, so that's an hour and 15 minutes, or an hour and a quarter, which is 1.25 hours. All right, the whole time he was driving was from 8 a.m., from 8 till 10:30, which is, of course, 2.5 hours. So that's 1.25 over 2.5, which I bet you can figure out is 1/2, which, of course, is 50%. If you can't figure this out in your head, use your calculator. And in fact, you should use your calculator on any calculator allowed section on the SAT and on the whole ACT, because you don't want to get a question wrong just because you made an arithmetic mistake in your head or on paper if you're writing on your test. Number 2, how far in miles did Mark drive between 8:30 and 9? The graph shows Mark drove exactly 40 miles per hour during that time. We can see 8:30 to 9, it's just a horizontal line, and it's on the 40 mile per hour line, so he drove 40 miles per hour. So he drove 40 miles per hour for a half hour, which is 20 miles. So choice B is correct. 3, what was Mark's average speed in miles per hour between 8:30 and 9:30? Well, as we just saw, the line from 8:30 to 9 is completely horizontal, so that's 40 miles per hour. Between 9 and 9:30, he accelerates perfectly smoothly from 40 to 50 miles per hour. That's nice on these math tests that everything is done just perfectly. Anyway, that's fine. So we know that you can just take the average of 40 and 50, and this will fill in as though it were just a straight line across here at 45. So are we done? No, we're not done, because we have to average 40 and 45, which we can just add that together. 40 plus 50 is 90 over 2 is 45 miles per hour. So it's, again, 40 plus 45, which is... Okay, I made a mistake. The average speed for 9 to 9:30 is the 40 plus 50 miles per hour, so that's 45 miles per hour. So since Mark averages 40 miles per hour for the first hour and 45 miles per hour for the second, we average those two speeds, which gives us 40 plus 45 miles per hour over 2, which is 95 over 2 miles per hour, which is 42.5 miles per hour. All right, sorry for any confusion. And so, how did that happen? All right, so problems 4 through 6. On page 646, it refers to this little chart here, critical reading SAT scores of all the juniors at Central High School. So the number of students, okay, we see the y-axis goes from 0, presumably that's the origin, to 400, and the x-axis goes from 200 to 290 to 700 to 800, and we've got this nifty bar graph here. And here's a picture of a high school that I just got out of the copyright-free, Creative Commons license here. So that looks like a pretty classy high school, probably built around the turn of the last century, so, the early 1900s. All right, so problem 4 through 6, page 646, continued. Number 4, how many juniors at Central High School, CHS, took the SAT? It's the easiest problem because all you have to do is add all the number of students in the bar graph. But again, use your calculator if you can, because the first time I added it up, I got 1050 or something when I did it in my head. So if I can make a mistake in my head in arithmetic, you probably can too. And if you never make mistakes when you do it in your head, great, you're better than me. I'll just have to live with that. Anyway, so we can see, all right, we have 50, we have 100, that's 150. And then 150 plus, this looks like a little bigger than this, looks like 400. So that's going to be 550. And then we're going to have 350, so 550 plus 350. We'll just add the 50 first, that's 600. That's 900. Then we have 1050, so that's another 150. Then we have 50, so that's 1100. And yes, I know I just violated my own advice by adding this up in my head. Anyway, so sue me. All right. Definitely use your calculator if you can, all silliness aside, because you don't want to get dinged for making an arithmetic error. What percentage of the juniors had critical reading scores less than 600? Okay, this one's actually easy enough to do in your head, because once you've got the 1100 from before, you know that, oh, okay, well, it's 150 plus 50, so only 200 out of the 1100 scored above 600, so that means 1100 minus 200, or 900, scored below 600. So then you just go 9 over 11, that's equal to 0.818181. Multiply that by 100%, you get approximately 82%. Or as it says in the answers, choice C, 81 and 9/11%. Once you get close enough to the 82%, you ought to be able to just figure this out. Okay? That's choice C. So how many juniors had critical reading scores between 450 and 550? Let's look at the graph, which you'd have to do here, assuming I can get here. All right. So we have 450, 550. Trouble is it does not tell us at all who got what within here. So all we know is these scores are somewhere between 400 and 490 inclusive. This is somewhere between 500 and 590 inclusive. They could have all scored 400. They could have all scored 490. These ones could all scored 500. They all could have scored 590. We don't know. So if we're looking for what would be in here, 450 through 550, we have no idea. So this is the one time out of many, many times where the cannot be determined from the information given, or choice D, is actually the right answer. You really can't determine it. Normally, this is the math sucker punch answer that you shouldn't choose. The reason I call it the sucker punch answer, it's the math equivalent of the smart kid answer on the English part of it, where it says, let's say they give you a word like sesquipedalian, or, tergiverspherator, or something like that. Average kid your age doesn't know what either of those words mean. So they're going to say, hey, that sounds like a word John Linnaball would use. Well, that'd be the kids who were in class with me. I'll bet that's the right answer. Then come ask me after the test, be like, oh, the answer to that was red, but hey, good luck with that. And so this is the same thing on the math is, wow, the kids who are really good at math in the class, they would really, really know why you can't determine this, so I'm going to be like the smart kids and choose it. No, only choose that when you know why, or if you know the other three answers cannot possibly be it. Okay? All right, thanks. Problems 7 and 8. I had to do a little paint action here because my copy of the SAT book I have already written in, so I wanted to take out my notes. So problems 7 and 8, page 647, refer to this figure here. Insurance and taxes, they don't give you the thing. So insurance and taxes, they do not give that to you. And this is the 2010 Smith family household budget. Wonder if they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Ha ha ha. Very old joke. Anyway. So problems 7 and 8, page 647 continued. Number 7, if the Smiths' income in 2010 was $40,000, how much more did they spend on insurance and taxes than they did on clothing? So first we have to figure out what percentage is insurance and taxes. So the other sectors add up to 85%. Use your calculator. Okay, so if I'm going to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my calculator. I'm going to use the Windows calculator because I can. I'm using a computer. So we're going to go, okay, 28 plus 22. Pretty sure that's 50. Yep, plus 16. Boom. Plus 5. Plus 3. Plus 11. Okay, so that's 85. Okay, so we know 100 minus 85 is 15. If you don't, hey, we can just subtract 100. We get minus 15. Just change that to a positive. Boom. We've got 15%. So clothing is 11, so what you can do is just subtract 11. Okay, so that's 4%. And we can either use the percent key, which I don't see. Fine, I'll just multiply that times 1%. So it's 0.04 times $40,000. All right, that's $1,600. So the answer is, in fact, 4 times $400 or $1,600. $400 is 1%, so that's what you just do is 4 times 400 if you can recognize that 1% of 40,000 is 400. Anyway, if it's on the calculator section, use your calculator. You just multiply 40,000 times 4%. Boom, you're done. Choice A is right. So what is the degree measure of the central angle of the sector representing insurance and taxes? Since we know insurance and taxes are 15%, all we have to do is set up a proportion. So 15 over 100, that is 15%, is equal to x over 360. Why? Because we know there are 360 degrees in a circle. So x has to be the top, the numerator of this other fraction. So all we do is multiply this by 360. So you have 360 times 15 over 100 equals x. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to use my calculator. So boom, 360 times 15 is 5,400, and then I'm just going to divide that by 100. Voila, 54. Okay, let's say by some stroke of bad luck or SAT treachery, they put this on the no calculator section. Then you're just going to have to factor. Factoring is for all you people who took the SAT before you were allowed to take a calculator. Like me, you had to do the old school where you factored everything, and usually they were pretty easy numbers to factor like this. So we know 360, okay, we know it's 18 times 2 is 36. Then 10, so 18 times 2 times 10. So it's just going to be 36 times 10 or 18 times 20, whatever you choose. 15 we can break up into 5 times 3. Why did I break it up into 2 and 10? Well, all right, I know that 100 is going to be 20 times 5, so it's 10 times 2 times 5. So boom, we just knock out the 2, 10, and 5 on the top because we cancel it out with the 10, 2, and 5 on the bottom. So 2 on the top takes out the 2 on the bottom, 10 on the top takes out the 10 on the bottom, 5 on the top takes out the 5 on the bottom. Then we have 18 times 3, which hopefully you could multiply it. At the very worst, just write it out on your answer, on your answer booklet, not on the answer sheet. And I guess question booklet, I should say. Write it, and you'll get 18 times 3 equals 54. All right, so that's pretty easy, right? Problems 9 and 10, page 647. The distribution of the grades of 500 students on the final exam in math. All right, so we see, 25% failed. That's not good. So just quickly adding this up, you can go, all right, 25 plus 35, so 25 plus 35 is 60, plus 10 is 70, plus 25. So, all right, so we know that 95% of the students got either an A, B, C, or an F, so the D would have to be 100. Again, you can just subtract out 100. I know you're doing it the wrong order. Fine, it's -5. We know it's really a +5. So we know 5% got a D. Pretty sure without even looking at this that they're going to ask about that because notice they didn't give you the percentage there. All right, so let's take a look. All right, how many students earned a grade of D? Oh, okay. So I only did the first part. I found out 5% earned a D, and they tell you it's 500 students. So, okay, let's get out the calculator again. And it's going to be 5%, so that's 0.05. Or just use the percent key. I have this set to scientific. I think if I set it to, not set it to standard, yeah, it gives you it right here, so fine. On your calculator, you'll have both buttons available, I'm sure. So 5%, oh, okay. So I've got to go 500 times 5%. Boom, that's equal to 25. Okay, so we know that 25 students failed the test. So the number is 25. All right. Ooh, I didn't write that there. Anyway, okay, we know 25 failed the test. So what percentage of these students, or not 25 failed the test, I'm sorry, 25 got D's. I apologize for that. All right, so we know that 25 got D's. And in fact, what I will do is I will change it right now. So 500 times 5% equals 25. All right. And then we'll go back to the reading view here. All right. So 500 times 5% is equal to 25. And what percent of the students who failed the exam would have had to pass it for the percentage of the students passing the exam to be at least 85%? All right, so we know 25% earned failing grades. Why? Well, because they told you right here. So it's 25%. And we know there's 500 students, so it's really easy to multiply 125 times 25. Sorry, not 125. I just gave the answer there. It's 500 times 25%, which is 125. So we know 125 earned failing grades. So 75% pass. So we need 10% more of the total to pass. 500 students, 10%. You should be able to figure out that that's 50. If you can't, don't beat yourself up. That's fine. You just go 500 times 10% is 50. Okay, so we need 50, so we need 25 more to pass. Or sorry, 50 more to pass. Okay, we need 50 more to pass. So 50 over, okay, 25% of 50 is 125. So then we just need 50 over 125 because we know 125 actually failed. So that's 0.4. So that's, just multiply that by 100 and you get 40%. So 50 times 25, 50, I'll try that again. 50 over 125 times 100% would have to have passed. So it'd be really easy. You just go 50 over 125, which is 0.4. Then we're just going to multiply that times 100%. So that just becomes 40. So basically 40% more would have to pass. So you can use your calculator or factor it. You know, in that case, you just go 5. Okay. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. And 5 times 10 is, you know, it's going to be 5 times 5 times 10. So, you know, that would look something like this. Where we would go. Here. Okay, that's just going to be 5 times 5 times, okay, 5 times 5 times 2 over 5 times 5 5 times 5 times 5, and you can see they cancel out. Boom, these go, boom, these go, so that's 2/5, which you should know is the same as 4 over 10, which is just going to be 40%. Okay, we're not going to save that. Anyway, what we're doing here is we found out that that's 40%, and hopefully that is the end of the questions here. If you found this video useful, please like it and subscribe to this channel. Neither action costs you anything. You'll be alerted about my new videos. Why do I care? Well, it's simple. YouTube does not share any ad revenue with me unless I have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of view times within the year before they review my channel to see if they're willing to actually let me monetize my channel here. While many people are watching these, I don't have 4,000 hours of watch time in the last year. I don't have anywhere near 1,000 subscribers. I have, unless I checked, like 663, 664, something like that. If there's a copyright issue, if you think that I used your copyrighted picture or music or texts or something like that, please let me know. I'm willing to work with you on this. For the same reasons, you are not only welcome, but encouraged to share links to this video, put in playlists, etc. I'm always happy to read and respond to constructive criticism or suggestions for new videos. I also reserve the right to delete comments from and block those who specialize in destructive criticism, trollers, or things that are off topic, people who want to spam to advertise their products, or just people who are out where the buses don't run, disturbed people. Anyway, if you want to contact me, you can call me at 415-623-4251. Again, 415-623-4251. You can email me at john@johnlinnebaugh.com. You can mail me at 1859 Powell Street, number 109, San Francisco, California, 94133. Thanks for watching. And if you need more contact information, you can find me on Facebook at www.facebook.com, Tutoring. That kind of cut off there. Oh well. Instagram, again, you can go to instagram.com/john.linnebaugh.tutoring. Phone number, this is my office phone, 415-986-7355. And my email, again, is john@johnlinnebaugh.com, and you can find my nifty website at www.johnlinnebaugh.com. Hope you're having a good day. Bye.